Gabe reveals key information about next year. Dave, I love you, but oh, come on with the luck. And is a gifting event confirmed for next month. Yes, hello everybody and welcome to the Friday edition of Marvel Contest of Champions News. It's Black Friday. Hopefully you, if you are American or anybody that celebrates Thanksgiving, has stuffed yourself with turkey and just sitting back with a big fat belly going, damn, that was a damn good turkey. Even though I don't really celebrate the holiday, I give thanks to you guys for being so supportive and loving as a community. So yeah, that's what I'm thankful of, the lovely community. But without further ado, let's get into the news. Yeah. We kick the Marvel Contest of Champions news off on this Friday with the question, will we likely see a Cavalier Difficulty? On the face of it, it does look like something that we would likely see in the future, but it is not something in the grand scheme of things. Something that I did ask at New York Comic Con, and something that was going around was the idea that we'd see units and uncollected, we'd see a Cavalier Difficulty, and would it actually work? Well, Kabam had this to say: we do not have plans for a Cavalier Difficulty at this time. While it is something we want to do in the future, our high difficulty content efforts are focused more on things like variant difficulties, Act 6 and beyond, and the upcoming Abyss of Legends. Now I think that's good because you can really kind of push this too much and there could be too much going on. It may mean that people might kind of grind out Cavalier and uncollected and give Master and Heroic like a complete wide berth. A lot of people have given up on Heroic, to be honest, that reached kind of Cavalier status. But, you know, for those that really want a sneaky 1,000 5-star shards and want to do it for free energy kind of grind, it is a kind of an okay option, and you get units. So as long as other kind of difficulties get units, I think this will be all right. But yeah, Abyss of Legends and variants are actually pretty cool. So, you know, as long as they keep on doing content like that, and then look at it at a later date, maybe it would be viable for the player base. Mike also had to go further to explain the point to somebody by saying that recurrent challenges also mean recurring work. A monthly event quest takes a lot of time, and while people are still moving towards Cavalier, there aren't nearly as many as uncollected. We have to make sure that we're making content for all players while not forgetting about top end players. We're looking into a higher monthly difficulty in the future, but at this time that would mean no more variants, act content or other high-end content while we shift to those. This is not something we want to do. Obviously, in a nutshell, and goes back to like the compensation issues we had before, you can't please anybody in the community and in the game. The fact is, what you watching this video right now is working on in game may be very different to what I'm working on. I'm working towards creating an extended roster to take on difficult content like Act 6, where I don't think my roster is there at a place that I personally want it. People may disagree with that, but what I feel is different to what you feel. And that's the same thing with this situation. I really do like variants more than I like difficulty of Cavalier, and that's my own personal opinion. But like I said, yours will differ on that, and Kabam have to then make us both happy, which, look, it is a difficult thing. If you remember back in October, very early on, we had a real big issue when it comes to the heal prevention and the way that Nick Fury and Life Model Decoy interact with this whole kind of node here, mainly in stuff with more difficult content or where it sees heal prevention. Kabam changed something, and it basically meant that the way he heals, and we do bunny ears heals, because we'll be covering that in a second. But yeah, it just meant that Nick Fury was essentially dying, and stuff with Life Model Decoy wasn't working properly from our perspective. So yeah, as you can see, heal prevention is causing the Life Model Decoy to kind of start degenerating past the 30% mark, so he's kind of like, you know, he's going to tick off to die. This particular matter is still under investigation, but we got an update a couple of days ago. Kabam Zibbit says we're still looking into the issue with Nick Fury's degenerating while below 30%. The heal prevention should be preventing the healing from Nick's signature ability, though his signature ability should still prevent damage for the time he would normally be healing, and then allow him to remain alive at 1% health. We're still investigating what is causing him to degenerate while below 30% health, and we'll update everyone as soon as we have more information on that front. Obviously, this opened up the floodgates for people to really scrutinize what was put there. So this point here saying, wait, so the intention for the node is to keep him at 1% and therefore essentially have no signature ability at all. So instead of the decoy dying and real nicks instantly replacing the decoy at 30% instead of regenerating to 100% and then degenerating down slowly. The intended interaction is to essentially remove Nick Fury's signature ability by giving him a useless 1% health to quickly die by blocking a single punch from any defender stronger than a 3-star. Dalbot going even further to say if the life model decoy is destroyed, that means Nick himself is also basically dead too. That defies logic. Like so many other things in the game, this is completely unacceptable. With Dave going further on to say, by that logic, shouldn't champions like Warlock or Mysterio with passive heal block also prevent Nick Fury's ability? It's not the case. I can provide videos just like Thanos Node would. If not, I'm 100% lost here. We would have heal block, passive heal block, and heal prevention that would all work differently. Why make it simple? We can create unnecessary bugs. Exactly, good point. But also, I like this here. Currently, MODOK can do this and kill Nick Fury straight off from life model decoy. And obviously, look, there's so many weird interaction things with this. And was this really required to make something so complex out of a very easy situation? Heal prevention as opposed to like heal block stuff. Like, I just don't know. It's confused, and it's also kind of like messed up a lot of things with that character, which, as you know, is quite a key character for a lot of players. Next up, and shout out to Dork Lessons, Mr. Dorky Diggity Dave. Check out the link in the description because he gets really lucky off this crystal. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm just going to leave you the link down in the description. Just go and check it out because the jammy bugger gets lucky after one crystal. So we're going to try the same. Yeah, see if Dave can do it. I can do it. I'm going to do the pep method where you go out, you go back in again, you go out, you go back in again, and I'm going to pop it open because I don't want to waste any time. There's a 4-star. God damn it! This then leads me on to this post here, which is all about cursed accounts. Yes, I do feel at times I've got a little bit of a curse on me. I say that, and I shouldn't really kind of put it as a bad point because I have had some good 6-star pulls. I pulled a 6-star Aegon, 6-star Ghost, and as well as 6-star Sabretooth. So look, I can't really say that, but it does come in like peaks and then it just kind of like just flat lines, just like boop, boop. So. But it happens, I think, to everybody that you go through a really bad run of luck to the point that you actually get some good luck. So I think that's the kind of main thing to kind of point out. Obviously, I was tagged in this post down the line, just kind of like saying about M's luck. And as you know, M picked up a 5-star Warlock from a Magus Crystal, which he got free from Sean HQ. It's like a really kind of weird thing. I'm like, part of me is like, right, well, I look at the amount of money that Dave's put into the game and what he's got out of it. It was only last month he picked up his first ever 6-star from a Cavalier Crystal. And obviously he's put on a lot more money than me and hasn't got anything. Obviously I've put in what I've put and I've got nothing from it, 6-star wise, and I'm hoping to break that bad luck streak at some point. But, you know, you just kind of go like, well, what's the deal here with this? How do these things happen? Bit of tinfoil hat jobs. Yeah, I don't really know what to say on it, but I just know that sometimes I just feel really salty and trollish, or I feel I'm being trolled at times, but meh, I'll just continue on to the next crystal, I guess. Also, for those interested and want to find out like what champions fall into what given year, handy for rank up gems when you'll be getting the very much year specific ones when it comes to the variant 4 being put into the game next month. Link is in the description for this. Just gives you all the info you really need to know. Next up, we'll move on to Otrix, and there's a few bits of information here. Shout out to Otrix, love you, buddy. And especially imagine if Silver Surfer has the most highest prestige in game. Well, that's got everyone interested. Also saying, I'm talking about some amazing prestige here. The arena scores are going to be huge. Oh, you tears us, sir. But then going on to kind of like say that a 6-star Kang, ooh, a greater gifting crystal, ooh, and obviously just you know, just saying that gifts thing was not people for Thanksgiving receiving the gift, but the fact is it's kind of teasing that there's going to be a greater gifting crystal, or maybe there'll be a gifting event. I don't know. I feel this is kind of like quite pimp hand strong with this, especially saying about 6-star Kang. Yeah, it's got to point to something like this. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't go. Sorry, they would do it. They wouldn't go without doing a gifting event. especially with, you know, what it makes for the company. They'd be silly not to. And now on to our final story, and that is the unofficial Marvel Contest of Champions podcast. As a lot of you know, Gabe appeared on this. Link is in the description. It's a pretty nice listen to if you want to. And as well, like, there's some key information or key points to just kind of reiterate. If you want to know more about these points that I'm going to read off, then make sure to go and listen, because you'll find out a lot more. Nova and Squirrel Girl will be released in January 2020. Galactus is likely to be unplayable, and will just, well, they don't know how they're going to really put him in, but the fact is there'll be no big hand and there'll be no Bigfoot attacking you. They're likely to be heralds associated with that champion. It's something that I have talked about in a previous video. Not to mention the fact that hopefully they do him a solid based on the fact of, like, you know, what they did with Dormammu. I think it's good that he's not playable, because, like, it's kind of sucks that Dormammu isn't as powerful as you think he is, but he's being kind of transmutified down to something particle based. John DiMaggio is the actor who plays Galactus, or kind of does the voice of Galactus in this. He has done such work. I think he's done stuff with Futurama. I think that he's done stuff with a previous Galactus with a Lego game. Also, Karina is taking on the Battle Realm, or it seems like she's teased to be that one taking over. I've got my theory that she'll be sitting in the chair. Not to mention the fact that with December's going to be very heated with Karina and Reed Richards clashing. That story is going to be really explosive. Guillotine 2099 was originally meant to be a Mystic-based character before being a tech. And Guillotine Flowers of Evil was going to be a comic book pitch, which I thought was really cool. The story was going to be very centric around her search for her mother. And obviously, you know, Marvel are Marvel. If they don't want to take it up, they don't want to take it up. And yeah, next year's story is a shared story perspective between both games, and you'll see from both types of perspectives. But for full details on this, go check out the podcast. I've listened it through, and I think it's a fantastic thing, even to find out that Gabe was in the film Watchmen, which I thought that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to try and find him now. There we have it. That has been the Marvel Contest of Champions news for Friday the 29th of November 2019. It's Black Friday, so I'll largely see you later on for an opening of sorts, and also just like a grading or kind of looking at different types of cyber deals that is going to be dropping. So yeah, expect videos a little bit later on than normal. Obviously, for some countries, it's going to be earlier, kind of like mid-afternoon. So yeah, check them out, and I'll see you later on. Bye-bye for now.